Welcome to Project PhD Cast. I'm your host and PhD student, Alison Innes. This is a special project I'm calling Recovering Bad Women, a podcast miniseries exploring vulnerability, precarity, and victimization in true crime podcasting. The first part of Recovering Bad Women is a creative sound piece based on the story of the enslaved girls in Homer's Odyssey, with passages taken from Emily Wilson's translation and read by Darren Sundstrom, my MythTake co-creator.
Quick, attentive house slaves were waiting on them. Some were mixing wine with water in the bowls, and others brought the tables out and wiped them off with sponges, and others carved up heaping plates of meat. Entering the room, he sat down on the bed, took off his tunic, and gave it to the vigilant old woman. She smoothed it out and folded it, then hung it up on a hook beside his wooden bed and left the room. The slave girls washed them, rubbed them with oil, and dressed them in wool cloaks and tunics. Then they left the baths and sat on chairs. A girl brought out a golden pitcher and poured the washing water on their hands over a silver bowl. She set a table beside them, and a humble slave girl brought a generous array from their rich stores. At that the girls began to giggle, peeking at each other. Pretty Melantho, child of Dolius, had been brought up by Queen Penelope, who gave her toys and treated her just like a daughter. But Melantho, unconcerned about Penelope, was sleeping with Eurymachus. She started to insult Odysseus and taunt him. Then the old woman took the shining cauldron used for a foot bath, and she filled it up with water, lots of cold, a splash of hot. She kneeled beside him and washed her master. But then the girls, who had been sleeping with the suitors, slipped outside, giggling and happy to be out together. Then a woman, a wheat grinder, inside the house nearby, spoke words of omen. 12 slaves worked the mills to grind the wheat and barley for the king. The rest had finished and had gone to sleep. The weakest one was still at work. She paused her mill and spoke. He heard it as an omen. They listened carefully and followed orders. 20 ran off to fetch the dark spring water. The other well-trained slaves were working hard around the house. Sobbing desperately, the girls came, weeping, clutching at each other. They carried out the bodies of the dead and piled them up on top of one another under the roof outside. And then they cleaned his lovely chairs and tables with wet, absorbent sponges, while the prince and herdsmen, with their shovels, scraped away the mess to make the sturdy floor all clean. The girls picked up the trash and took it out. The men created order in the house and set it all to rights, then led the girls outside and trapped them. They could not escape between the courtyard wall and the rotunda. Thank you for listening to Recovering Bad Women, a podcast miniseries exploring women's vulnerability, precarity, and victimization. Passages from the Odyssey were read by Darren Sundstrom, and the translation used was by Emily Wilson. Scripted and produced by Alison Innes, the host and creator of Project PhDcast.
Thank you so much for listening to Project PhDcast, an audio research journal created, hosted, and produced by me, Alison Innes. You can, as always, find links and articles in the show notes. Please share your thoughts. Get in touch with me through my website. Learn more about this research project and how you can participate by following the link in the show notes. Music is Grand Dark Waltz by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com and is used under Creative Commons license. You can view this podcast with subtitles on YouTube. Transcripts are available for download by request. Project PhDcast is an ongoing project by Alison Innes, PhD student in interdisciplinary humanities at Brock University. This research project has been approved by the Research Ethics Board at Brock University, file number 23020 MAURO.
I kind of bumbled the back last bit there, sorry.
It's okay.